Fenrir. Fenrir is the great wolf of Norse mythology, the son of Loki and the giantess Angrboda. From his birth, the gods understood that he was no ordinary creature. He grew with overwhelming strength and a ferocity impossible to control. His destiny was bound to Ragnarök, the final battle in which the order of the gods would be destroyed. Fearing the prophecy, the Aesir tried to chain him. No binding could withstand him, until the dwarves forged Sleipnir, a magical chain as light as a ribbon, yet stronger than any iron. Fenrir agreed to be bound only if one of the gods placed a hand in his mouth as a sign of trust. Tyr accepted the sacrifice and lost his hand when the wolf discovered the deception. Fenrir does not represent destruction alone. He represents inevitable fate, the thing the gods fear, try to avoid, and yet end up causing. During Ragnarök, he will break his chains and devour Odin. Jörmungandr. Jörmungandr, the Midgard serpent, is one of the most feared creatures in Norse mythology. Son of Loki and the giantess Angrboda, he was cast by Odin into the ocean that surrounds the world of humans. There he grew to an impossible size, stretching through the depths until he encircled all of Midgard and bit his own tail. His presence is not only monstrous but cosmic. Jörmungandr represents the limits of the known world, the immense force of the sea, and the fragile balance that holds reality together. As long as the serpent remains coiled around Midgard, the world continues to exist, but when he releases his tail, Ragnarök will begin. His destined enemy is Thor, the god of thunder. The two will meet in the final battle, where Thor will succeed in killing the serpent, but will fall shortly after, poisoned by his deadly breath. Jörmungandr is the circle of fate, the force that surrounds the world and announces its end. Níðhöggr. Níðhöggr is the dark dragon that dwells beneath Yggdrasil, the great tree that holds the 9 worlds. Hidden among its deepest roots, he gnaws endlessly at the base of the sacred tree, slowly weakening the force that keeps the cosmos bound together. His presence represents corruption, decay, and the forces that work silently against the order of the world. While the gods rule in Asgard and mortals live in Midgard, Níðhöggr remains below, in the darkness, reminding all that even the most sacred things can be worn down by time and destruction. In some traditions, he is linked to Nostrand, the shore of corpses, where he punishes the worst criminals and devours the bodies of those who broke oaths or committed terrible acts. He is not merely a monstrous beast, he is an image of persistent evil, of that which does not attack from the front, but corrodes from the depths. Garmr. Garmr is the terrible guard dog of Helheim, the realm of the dead ruled by Hel. In Norse mythology, he appears as a fierce creature, chained in the depths, associated with death, darkness, and the end of time. His figure recalls the guardians who protect the boundaries between the world of the living and the world of the dead. He is not merely a monstrous dog, he is a liminal presence, a beast placed at the threshold where life ends and Hel's domain begins. His bark announces danger, rupture, and destiny. During Ragnarök, Garmr will break his chains and leave his prison to join the final chaos. In that battle, he will face the god Tyr, and both will fall. For this reason, Garmr represents death unleashed, that which remains contained for centuries, until the inevitable moment arrives when no seal, chain, or god can stop it. Hraesvelgr. Hraesvelgr is a giant from Norse mythology who takes the form of an enormous eagle. It is said that he dwells at the edges of the world, seated at the border of the sky, where he beats his immense wings and creates the winds that travel across the earth. His name is often interpreted as corpse swallower, linking him to a dark and primal image of nature. He is not a creature close to gods or humans, but an ancient, distant, and almost impersonal force. From his place at the far ends of the cosmos, he does not rule the wind like a king, he causes it simply by existing. Fylgja represents the wild power of the air, invisible, inevitable, and capable of changing the fate of travelers, ships, and armies. In him, the Norse saw that even the wind had a mythical origin, born from the movement of a colossal creature. Ratatoskr is the squirrel that runs along the trunk of Yggdrasil, the sacred tree that connects the 9 worlds. Although he seems small beside wolves, dragons, and giants, his role within the Norse cosmos is unsettling and symbolic. His task is to carry messages between the eagle that dwells in the crown of Yggdrasil and Níðhöggr, the dragon that gnaws at its roots. But Ratatoskr is not a neutral messenger. His words often feed discord, carrying insults and provocations from one end of the tree to the other. For this reason, Ratatoskr represents the power of words when they are used to sow conflict. He does not destroy with claws or fangs, but with rumors, mockery, and poisoned messages. Through him, Norse mythology shows that even a small creature can disturb the balance of the world if it knows how to move between its most sacred parts. Sleipnir. Sleipnir is Odin's extraordinary horse and one of the most unique creatures in Norse mythology. His most famous feature is his 8 legs, which symbolize a speed and power far beyond any ordinary mount. Because of this, he can travel across the skies, the earth, and even the roads that lead to the world of the dead. Born from Loki in one of his strangest transformations, Sleipnir unites the wondrous with the unsettling. He is not only a sacred animal but a creature born from magic, deception, and destiny. In him, the impossible takes form and becomes useful to the supreme god. As Odin's mount, Sleipnir represents the journey between worlds, divine authority, and the ability to cross boundaries that would be inaccessible to other beings. He is the perfect companion for the god of wisdom and the dead. Swift, silent, and capable of carrying his rider where no other horse could go. Huginn and Muninn. Huginn and Muninn are Odin's 2 ravens, sent each day to travel across the world in search of knowledge. Their names mean thought and memory, 2 essential forces for the god of wisdom, war, and destiny. At dawn, they fly over Midgard and the other corners of the cosmos, observing what happens among gods, humans, giants, and creatures. When they return, they perch upon Odin's shoulders and whisper into his ears everything they have seen and heard. They are not simple messenger birds. They represent the mind traveling beyond the body, the ability to remember the past and understand the present. Through them, Odin remains aware of the movement of the world, even from his throne. Huginn and Muninn show that Odin's power is not born from strength alone, but from knowledge, to think, to remember, and to never stop observing. Gullinbursti. Gullinbursti is Freyr's golden boar, a sacred creature associated with fertility, prosperity, and the light of the sun. He was created by the dwarves Draugr and Sindri, the same master craftsmen capable of forging impossible wonders for the gods. His name means golden bristles, for his back shone with a light so intense that it could illuminate the deepest darkness. Thanks to that radiance, Gullinbursti could guide Freyr even through the night or along the most shadowed paths. He was also faster than any horse, able to run across land, sea, and air without stopping. He is not a beast of destruction, but an image of abundance and vital power. As Freyr's companion, he represents the fertile strength of nature, the growth of the fields, and the wealth that rises from the earth. Gullinbursti is the golden brightness of life moving forward, even through the shadows. Tangrasnir and Tangnjóstur. Tangrasnir and Tangnjóst are the two powerful goats that pull Thor's chariot across the skies. Their presence is bound to the roar of storms, for the passage of the god of thunder was never silent. He moved with force, noise, and an energy capable of shaking the world. Their names are often linked to grinding teeth or displays of ferocity, reinforcing their wild and vigorous nature. They were not simple beasts of burden, but sacred creatures in the service of the defender of Asgard and Midgard. With them, Thor traveled the roads of the sky to face giants and enemies of order. One of their most extraordinary traits was that they could be sacrificed for food, and later brought back to life, as long as their bones remained intact. For this reason, they represent not only strength and movement, but also renewal. Through them, Norse mythology reveals a powerful idea: divine energy can be spent, but it can also return. Draugr. The draugr are undead beings from Norse mythology, corporeal spirits that remain inside their tombs after death. They are not weak ghosts or formless shadows. They keep a physical body, terrible strength, and a will filled with hatred, greed, or a desire for revenge. They was said to guard the treasures buried with them, attacking anyone who profaned their graves. Some could grow in size, release an unbearable stench, invade dreams, or bring misfortune upon the living. Their presence turned the tomb into a place of danger, not only of rest. The draugr represents the fear of an incomplete death, when the body does not surrender, when ambition survives the soul, and when what should have remained buried returns to the world. Through them, the Norse saw a dark warning: not everything that is dead is truly at peace. Fylgja. The fylgja is a protective spirit in Norse mythology, bound to a person's destiny from birth. It often appeared in animal form, reflecting the inner nature of the one it accompanied. A warrior might have a fylgja in the shape of a wolf or bear, while someone cunning might be linked to a fox or a bird. It was not a pet or an ordinary creature, but a spiritual presence that walked beside the individual, though it often remained invisible. To see one's own fylgja could be an unsettling sign, for in some traditions it announced a profound change, nearby danger, or even death. The fylgja represents the union between identity, destiny, and the spiritual world. Through it, the Norse expressed the idea that every person carries a hidden force within them, a protective and symbolic shadow that reveals who they truly are and where their path is leading them. Dísir. The dísir are female spirits in Norse mythology, associated with protection, destiny, and the continuity of bloodlines. They are often connected to ancestral women, invisible guardians who watched over a family, a clan, or a person from the spiritual world. They were not simple ghosts, nor fully defined goddesses, but sacred and mysterious presences. They could bring protection, fertility, and prosperity, but also warnings, misfortune, or death if they were ignored, or if fate demanded it. Their power was tied to the cycles of life, inheritance, and family luck. In some accounts, the dísir appear close to the Norns and the Valkyries, since they are also connected to human destiny. They represent ancestral feminine strength, the force that guides, protects, and reminds us that no individual walks alone but is accompanied by the invisible memory of those who came before. Hafgufa. Hafgufa is a sea monster from ancient Norse traditions, described as a creature so enormous that it could be mistaken for an island in the middle of the ocean. Its body remained hidden beneath the waters, while only part of its back rose above the surface, deceiving unsuspecting sailors. According to legend, Hafgufa attracted fish, ships, and sea creatures toward its gigantic mouth, waiting patiently before closing its jaws and dragging everything into the depths. It did not hunt with speed, but with deception, immensity, and silence. Its figure represents the fear of the unknown sea, a place where solid land could be a lie, and where calm waters could hide a colossal threat. Hafgufa is not only a monster of the waters, it is the idea that the ocean holds beings so ancient and vast that humans can barely understand them before disappearing beneath the waves. Skull and Hati. Skull and Hati are the celestial wolves of Norse mythology, creatures destined to eternally pursue the sun and the moon. Skull runs after the solar chariot, seeking to devour the light of day, while Hati chases the moon across the night sky. Their chase is not only an image of cosmic movement, but a mythical explanation for the passage of time. Every dawn, every sunset, and every night reflects this endless pursuit between light, shadow, and destiny. The stars move because behind them there is hunger, threat, and a force that never rests. During Ragnarök, the pursuit will finally come to an end. Skull will catch the sun, and Hati will seize the moon, plunging the world into darkness before the final battle. These wolves represent the fragility of celestial order. Even the highest light in the sky can be reached when the hour of fate arrives. Helhest. Helhest is the spectral horse associated with Hel, the realm of the dead. In the traditions of the North, it is described as a dark and ominous creature, often linked to omens of death, illness, or misfortune. It is not an ordinary mount, but an unsettling apparition that seems to emerge from the boundary between the world of the living and the domain of the dead. Its footsteps could be heard as a warning. When Helhest appeared near a house, a road, or a cemetery, many interpreted it as a sign that death was near. Its figure represents the final passage, the journey every human being must take when leaving life behind. As a horse of the underworld, Helhest unites movement and destiny. It does not run toward glory or battle, but toward the silence of hell. It is a creature of the threshold, a reminder that death also has its messengers.